Well, it was just mostly they put an ad in the paper for people, and they didn't impress on these people the seriousness of their responsibility. That they were, they were there to save lives, and it was a long and boring job, and they would only have the opportunity on the rarest occasions to save lives. But it was important that they be alert and aware and on the spot to save those lives that one time.
Yep.
That was not impressed on these people at all. It was never mentioned, do not break the plane. I mentioned this phrase to several people, and they told me they didn't have any fear of flying.
Yeah.
So,
Well, you got anything?
Just the alarms were, I mean, you heard alarms go off during the course of the job. What was the protocol, and what how did that go?
well, when an alarm goes off, it is the duty and it is the concern of a whole watch to initiate immediate evacuations of those under his immediate supervision. It's not his place to question the validity or go somewhere else and do something else first or ask questions of a supervisor. It is that person's immediate responsibility to initiate evacuation. Well, I was setting up off listening to radio because I was in a laydown yard. I wasn't even in the middle of it. This is just what I heard on the radio on channel A8, our designated channel used by nobody else but Life Rescue. During the evacuation order, I heard person's whole watch come back with replies, does that mean me too? Or where should I go? Or what should I do? I was later told by other whole watches that they really shouldn't have left with the other whole watches. They should have evacuated their personnel. It just further demonstrates, just the careless ineptness of the training.
Would you say you had enough safety equipment for what you needed to do?
Well, for me personally, I provided my own safety equipment and my own heaters. Personally myself, I was never provided with adequate fire retardant coveralls. I had to provide my own. I got pretty cold there too. I was up in Connex by myself and had some snow. It was snowing, and I requested a heater several times. Finally I was told, well, if the one we provided is not good enough, go buy your own. So I did. Which is not, that's not an issue, who cares? That's just part of the workaday world. But the seriousness and what could have happened if there had been a real emergency, I have no doubt you would have a lot of dead people. Texas City or thing that's happened here, that's terrible. But it was entirely preventable with proper care and attention to the training.
You had safety meetings on a regular basis?
And at this position?
Yeah.
No.
So, just 8 hours of training, send you out there.
Oh, it was 8 hours, and then we had the orientation at ConocoPhillips, which I'd been to before, and I found it very informative. It's not my place here, in this discussion to evaluate their business practices. But the manner in which it was organized, it was not very efficient. They had decentralized organization, and nobody seemed to know where anybody was at. The people in the field were not allowed to control their personnel and assign their personnel as requested by contractors. They were variously assigned by somebody else. It was just constant confusion. Nobody knew where to go or what to do or who they were working for. I mean, it was, I'm glad I was where I was at. I just was listening to the radio and on our specified channel, and it was just unprofessional, unorganized, and very much unsafe. If there had been an incident, I wonder what they would have done. Nobody would have known where anybody was at. where the evacuation points were. These people are so poorly trained they didn't know. They were going around asking other crafts, do I plug this drain? Or do I stand here? How do I do this? Where are the emergency showers? If you ask some of these people, which direction is the wind blowing from? Because that's a standard thing in refinery. You always know which way the wind's blowing from, like you are if you're a sailor, because that's where trouble's going to come from. And so you ask these people, which way's the wind blowing from? What?
Yeah. Right.